Redditors share their cringe-worthy stories. Your Honor, I'm the intern. So when I was 19, I did illegal internship, prosecution. Part of my internship involved courtroom observation, which was less exciting than the movies might lead you to believe, but still pretty cool. I'd been interning there for about a month when this happened. I'd talked to the judge on several occasions, just to say hello, and she had seen me deliver evidence to the attorneys, help with some paperwork, and observe more or less every day. There was a case about possession of child pornography. Super creepy defendant. Until the 16-year-old victim came in to be questioned, the jury thought that I was her and kept throwing me pitying looks, but they figured it out once she gave her testimony and I delivered some folders to the attorneys. Then came the sentencing hearing. The judge wanted to give her thoughts on the matter, so she told the defendant to clean up his act, and then she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "As for you, I hope you can get counseling to overcome this traumatic experience." I told her, "I'm not the victim." She blinked at me and started to tell me that I was right and I was a survivor, but then it hit her. "Oh, you're the intern." Yup. I am working with a teenager who is pretending to be stoned. He made up some bull that he smoked a joint yesterday and that he is still really stoned in work 24 hours later. I asked him what it's like and he said it's like seeing shapes and colors. Every time he sees me he pretends to act drowsy and that everything feels and sounds good. Pretending to forget my age in order to appear cool. Yeah, I really don't know. Many years ago at the tender age of 12 or 13. Really, who can be sure? Not me. I was at some youth group meeting and we were sitting in a circle, going around and introducing ourselves with our name and age. I wanted to stand out from the rest somehow. My flawless preteen logic led me to believe the most effective way to do so would be to act as if I had forgotten how old I was. You know, like I'm so aloof and cool that I don't even care about my age. So it's my turn. "Hey, I'm Light Mifo and I'm 13. Wait, no, I'm 12. I think. I'm just not sure, ha ha ha," with a shit-eating smirk. I looked around smiling, but to my dismay there were no chuckles or impressed faces. "Ha ha ha," I said again. Nothing. Everyone just stared at me. After another agonizing few seconds, the person next to me proceeded to introduce themselves with their name and age. Sometimes this wakes me up at night. McDonald's cringe. I use the McDonald's app to order because I find that it's quicker. When I first got the app, I had to enter my name. Thinking this was pointless, I entered the name Bumhole McBummy as a joke. I completely forgot about this, and it seemed totally irrelevant because I figured they don't need your name for you to collect your order. You get given a code number. Today I drove up to the drive-thru speaker box and told the chick my code. There's a long pause, and she tells me to come to the front counter. I'm confused, but reverse out and go inside to the front counter. I tell the chick that I'm the guy from the drive-thru and show her my code. She's clearly having issues processing my online order. "What was the name?" she asks. Fuck. I remember the stupid name I put in the app. I'm too embarrassed to say it, so I just reluctantly spell out the first part, Bumhole. She's still having issues with the order, and asks me to repeat the name. I quietly murmur Bumhole McBummy. There's a very long pause and I'm standing there like a total fucking moron. Fucking cringe. She's still having issues with the order and asks if the payment went through. I insist it has, but check my payment history. Turns out it's my fault and I actually hadn't paid for the order yet. Kill me. First time I ever ordered pizza. This happened about 2 years ago. I ordered some Pizza Hut online and when it was delivered, the lady handed me the pizza boxes. I said thanks and she told me my shirt was inside out. I said oh, and then she hands me the receipt to sign and leave a tip, and I spent 30 seconds trying to get the pen to work. She looks at the pen and says you have to click the pen. I said oh, and then she reaches to get the receipt and tells me the pizza smells good. Then I said you too and then I closed the door and killed myself. 2 property managers walked in on me trying to suck my own dick. I still shudder from the thought of it to this day. The story contained within this post will haunt me until my dying day. May God forgive me for what I have done. My dad used to rent a house in a fairly upscale part of town when I was in my mid-teens, where part of his rental agreement involved monthly property inspections conducted by the leasing managers. The day of inspection would usually swing between a small window of days near the end of the month with minimal notice, but we all knew to keep the house nice and tidy rounding that time. One month in particular, the property inspection was due to land sometime near the end of my summer vacation, so I was most likely going to be home when it happened. The month's end came and went, yet the property managers hadn't notified my dad of an inspection to come. My assumption was that they were going to skip this month due to either a positive record of upkeep or some unforeseen circumstance on their end, so I went on with my days like any normal teenage boy would, furiously masturbating till the tip of my dick was swollen purple like a Chinese eggplant, sniping hookers in from a rooftop in San Andreas, eating copious amounts of junk food and spray painting the downstairs toilet bowl with fiery hot magma shits caused by too many spicy Doritos and Caribbean jerk hot wings. Life was good. For now. Tuesday morning came, the last of which before summer's end. The songbird began to coo its solemn aria from amongst the treetops outside my window, gently beckoning me from my slumber. The house was empty. All its residents were off about their day, working, traveling, visiting with family, all except for me. I decided to seize this rare opportunity for a bit of self-exploration, free of fear from being seen or heard. You see friends, after weeks of physical preparation and conditioning, I was ready to do what I had never been able to do before. To do that which most men can only dream of, and fewer can claim to have experienced. I was going to finally do what every horny teenage boy across time and space would risk herniating a spinal disc for. Today, I was going to suck my own dick. I decided it best to prepare both physically and mentally before undertaking this endeavor. I went over to the bathroom across the hall from me and began to clear my bowls of its fiery impurities before taking a moment to meditate and find my center during a warm shower. As the white noise washed away the world around me and the sun's rays began to shimmer through the dimpled glass window above me, I could see the challenge before me unfold as it began to manifest within my mind's eye. After exiting the shower, I began to walk towards my room, hair still wet and heart full of iron. I was ready. The magnitude of the situation was not lost on me. I set a light playlist of Miles Davis selections on shuffle at a medium volume and briefly burned an Egyptian cotton scented incense before making my descent onto the rug beneath me. A moment of light stretching before cranking my thighs above my head. Careful not to injure myself, I slowly lowered my legs into position. As my pink, veiny dick began to inch towards me, my eyes burned like the fury of Achilles after the death of his dear friend Patroclus, awaiting my own penetration and insertion. The anticipation was equal parts anxiety-inducing and intoxicating as the end was in sight. Now, it is time. My bloated cockhead was just about to reach the entrance of my mouth when, click. The door slowly creaked open. A fear paralyzed me into position as my eyes fixated on the threshold in front of me. It was the fucking property managers. They got my dad's permission to use their spare key to enter the house. Both women stood there in the doorway as my raging fucking boner was about to fuck my own face while I was bent over like a motherfucking donut. The women stood in horror. Shit, sorry, one of them quickly replied before slamming the door shut. I lowered my legs and laid there in silence as John Coltrane ripped through his musical notes like wildfire on the 1959 classic So What. The property managers stood in the hall completely still and silent. I could see the heels of their leather shoes through the crack beneath the door. Still in silence, they walked across the hall into the bathroom to continue the inspection. The toilet bowl opens. Wah. Gross. I forgot to flush the fucking toilet while exploding my ass before taking a shower. Both women immediately turned and left out the front door, abandoning their duties and leaving the remainder of the property unassisted. During our next inspection, I jumped over the fucking brick wall behind our house to hide out until the property managers left. I have not spoken of this since, but I often see glimpses of that day in my darkest of dreams.